What does it take to help students from around the world not just study in a new country, but truly feel at home and thrive as global changemakers? Welcome to the Today's the Day Changemakers podcast. I'm your host, Jodi Grinwald, and today my guest is Gokan Alkanat, Associate Provost for International Education and Chief International Officer at Rowan University. Originally from Turkey, Gokhan came to the U.S. in 2003 and has spent more than 2 decades building programs that turn culture shock into belonging. At Rowan, he oversees international partnerships, study abroad, and English language programs, ensuring that students from across the globe are welcomed, supported, and given every opportunity to succeed. He is passionate about equity and access to education, and Gokhan also advocates for women from restrictive environments, helping them find pathways to thrive. His mission is clear. International education is about more than enrollment. It's about creating global citizens who contribute to their communities everywhere. And that is a very important topic nowadays. Before we dive in, I want to invite you to the Today's the Day Changemakers International Forum on October 23rd. It's a free global day of connection and ideas. We'll explore 6 powerful topics: rising through uncertainty, becoming who you haven't met yet, entrepreneurship as a global connector, the burnout breakthrough, when fundraising follows purpose, and louder than the scroll. Visit todayisthedayliveit.com to register and follow along on social at todayisthedayliveit. Be sure to subscribe to the Today's the Day Changemakers YouTube channel for weekly conversations with leaders and everyday heroes. And beyond the podcast and forum, I also coach and consult. I support leaders, changemakers, and organizations through career coaching, sales coaching, leadership development, and team development, helping people align with purpose and grow their impact. Today is the Day is all about connection. Have a great week, everyone. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Today's the Day Changemakers podcast. I am your host, Jodi Grinwald, and as I say every single week, I interview the changemakers, the inspirers, and those who are disrupting the status quo in the best way possible. And today, I'm super excited to have this changemaker with us. Gokan Alkanat is an incredible leader here in New Jersey and beyond. And I'm going to read a little of your bio, Gokhan, okay, before we get started.
Thank you, Jodi. Thanks for the kind introduction.
Absolutely, absolutely. Gokhan is the Associate Provost for International Education at Rowan University, and he is also the Chief International Officer. He oversees international student and scholar services, education abroad, international partnerships, and the English language program. And I know there's so much more that you do besides that small little bit that I'm sharing, because your work is just so incredibly important. How are you today?
Thank you very much, Judy. First, thank you for allowing me to participate in this wonderful podcast series. We're doing great. It's summertime, but we're getting ready for our fall semester as our international students are getting ready to fly to the United States next few weeks, towards end of August usually, but we're doing great.
Awesome. And we're going to get to that because there's a lot around that and a lot going on in the world around that right now. But before we do, I always like my listeners who are now from 1,084 cities around the globe and 110 countries to get to know the person behind the incredible work. So tell us, Gokhan, tell us where you grew up and a little bit about your childhood.
Sure. I'm originally from Turkey. Actually, the new official name is Turkiye. The government just changed its name internationally to Turkiye. It's the native way of saying the name of the country. So I'm originally from Turkey. I was born on the eastern side of the country, but I actually grew up on the western side of the country, outside of Istanbul. And I did my elementary, middle, and high school in that city. And then for college, I studied in another city on English language teaching. It was a college of education, and I was very much interested in language learning, and that was probably the only skill I had, as I was not good at math or anything else. So I did English language teaching program. I got my diploma, and then I moved back to my city after college, where my parents live, where I did all my education, high school, etc. Then I started working there as I had my own community, my friends. And I had all my network in that city. So that's kind of where I grew up, outside of Istanbul. But except for the 5 years where I where I did my college degree in another city.
What year did you come to the United States?
That was actually the first days of 2003, literally first days. It was either the somewhere like maybe 10th or 15th of January of 2003. I remember because I came right after New Year on a cold day to a small city called Troy, Alabama, all the way deep south. I came to thinking that the city is very close to Atlanta because not realizing the scale of the United States compared to other countries and looking at it and like, okay, maybe this is just nearby, but it was not. It was actually like 3 hour, 3.5 hour drive from Troy, Alabama. So I came to Troy University to do my master's degree in again English language program. It's called TESOL program, teaching English to speakers of other languages to international
Mm.
people, basically. So my intention was just to come here for 18 months, get my degree and then go back because I wanted some, overseas experience before I continue my teaching career in Turkey. But that 18 months became 22 years
That's
somehow.
amazing. So, what made you want to go in this direction? And what you thought was the first direction that you went into school for? What made you want to be able to teach English and to leaders?
Uh, One, the learning a language was not a task or a job for me. It was more like a hobby since I was like maybe middle school. I enjoyed learning it. So English language was fun to spend time with. It was not a task. It was not an assignment. It was not something I did, So teaching the language, teaching what I know I like and what I know well was fun, definitely. So, and that was the only area I felt like I could do maybe more of a career out of because I like it. You want to do a job you enjoy. You don't want to
What-
force yourself into something that you're not skilled or you feel like it's not something you can contribute to the community with. So English was not that way. English, it was something I had passion for. So I went after it and I became pretty successful in undergrad program. I did a lot of linguistics classes. I enjoyed it more, linguistics, the science of language, breaking different languages into pieces and analyzing them. And I enjoyed even further. And then why people use language, how people use language, how people learn language, what are the barriers behind people's learning a language, especially adult learners. A lot of
Mhm.
immigrants come to this United States after their puberty ages, and learning a language is hard for them at that point. It's not like native speakers or a 5-year-old would learn. So, you
Mhm.
study all those, and I enjoyed learning about them, the psychology behind them, and all that. And then I start teaching at an adult education center outside of Istanbul right after actually before I graduated. I started teaching part-time. I loved it because I love socializing with other people at the same time teaching them something and seeing getting the feedback and seeing the progress right in front of you. It's just like a farmer putting a seed and then seeing the produce maybe 6 months after. It's the same thing. You teach every day a little bit, and then you like 6 months after you see someone who can't speak English at all is able to make a 5-minute talk in English.
Right.
So that's very rewarding. That gave me that pleasure, and I enjoy teaching. And these days, I actually, to be honest, miss it because I've been full administration right now.
Right. Wow. Well, that's you answered that question that I was going to have in the future of do you miss it? So, yeah, and you sound very passionate about it, and that's what we love to do is that, we want to go towards our passion whenever we find it. Not everybody's so lucky to find their passion, right? And when you find
Right.
it, you want to connect with it. What made you so when you moved to Alabama, right? And then where did you go from there? What was your next step in your process of life?
After I graduated, the federal government gives international students 1 year of work permit, kind of like experience you can gain related to your area, of course. If you studied English, you got to do something with English. You can't go do something with music or engineering or anything like that. So I said, like, maybe before I go back to Turkey, maybe I should do 1 year work. I should do 1 year work in the United States. So that would be great addition to my resume, having the experience overseas, teaching experience. So I applied a couple of jobs in different states And I found a job in Alabama, actually, in Montgomery, Alabama, the capital city of the state. It was a English language teaching. It was not English language for international people. It was actually just traditional English composition and English language arts, etc., for seventh, eighth, and ninth graders
Mm.
in a junior high school in Alabama, Goodwin Junior High School. I still remember. So I got a job there, a contract for a year. I taught there. Um, Towards the end of it, I realized that K through 12 is not for me. Uh, because you know, eh, we all have different skills and different way of approaching things. We all feel comfortable with certain things, certain ways, certain people. So I realize that I feel extremely comfortable teaching or communicating or interacting with adults or young adults, but not really K through 12. So um, uh, towards the end of the 1 year, there was a job opportunity at a university in Alabama, in Montgomery again. Auburn University is Montgomery campus. They had an
Mhm.
English language program coordinator position where you teach and also you do some programming, activities, social activities, etc. So I applied for it. I got it, and the students I worked was 17 to 70-year-old range, all over the place, which I
Mm.
loved because that's the group I feel so comfortable and um, engaged with. So I started teaching there after this 1 year of public school teaching, and I loved it. And they kept me there. So I was a coordinator, then I became a manager, then I became a senior manager in the same unit, and then I taught there until like 2014, from 2005 to 2014, for almost like 9 years, that program, and also did administration. Um, and then after that, there was an opening in the international office of that university. So I took advantage of that and I moved to that unit. And since then, I've been in international education, more like international office, including English language programs. So um, it's been about 11 years since I started doing what I'm doing right now.
So take us to how you went from Alabama to New Jersey.
I'll be honest, I'm originally from Turkey, so coming to Alabama was already and I grew up outside of Istanbul, and outside of Istanbul is still very much of a cosmopolitan place, very busy, uh, populated urban life, and I grew up there. And from that to Alabama was a complete culture shock for me. Uh, because what you see on TV about the United States, I couldn't see many of those things. I think we always see either California, Florida, or New York, tall buildings and this and that, or the great public transportation, people on subways. Alabama doesn't have any of those. So I came in and it was not populated. So you go out, you don't see anybody on the street, right? And there are a couple of miles in between each houses because it's not populated state very much. It's a large state, but not a low population. So it was already a culture shock, but growing and living there for almost 15 years, you get used to it. My kids were born there. My actually younger one had a Southern accent before until we moved to the New Jersey. So I got used to it. I loved it. It's a easy place for if you have a family, and it's easy to raise a family there in Alabama. But then to move up in my career, I came to the highest position I could be at that university, and I was looking for a research university. Um, so Rowan has an opening, and I really, to be honest, had not heard Rowan's name before. And New Jersey was the last state I would want to work. And it was because, again, what you see on TV, The Sopranos, I felt like The Sopranos, I don't want to be in that kind of state where there's mafia, because that's the impression you get, the New York streets it shows and all that. So,
Yes.
you should never make that kind of big statements, because next thing I know is I applied to Rowan and they invited me for an interview. I came to New Jersey. I loved it, actually, the environment here. I flew to Philadelphia at that time, and it was my first time in New Jersey. So So I got the job, the same position what I was doing at Auburn University's Montgomery campus here at Rowan University. So that's how I moved to New Jersey, and that was, to be honest, another culture shock. Like it was like moving to another country.
Really?
Living in Alabama for 15 years and coming to Jersey was a shock, and it took me, I think, about a year to get used to it. Yeah,
But
I mean,
Gloucester County, right? Because you're in Gloucester County. Uh,
I live in Haddonfield, but
oh,
the university is
oh,
in Gloucester County. Yes,
yeah.
Glassboro is here, but still, you like my house is 10 minutes from Philadelphia, and it's still,
Oh,
New Jersey is wherever you go. It's a densely populated state, and there's high diversity. I think New Jersey is United States, either I think the third or fourth most diverse state.
hmm.
So that was also, shock. Living, seeing a lot of diversity around me everywhere at work, where I live, on the streets, when you go out, everywhere. So it was definitely a culture shock, even though it's from one state to another state.
Well, Alabama definitely was not diverse, I would assume.
Yeah.
And yeah. But what about where you were born?
Uh, where I was born, in Turkey is generally not a diverse place because it's a nation country. Uh, where I was born, seeing a foreigner is something you probably would see one every 5, 10 years. You won't see any foreigners around. I'm talking about the eastern side, the
Right.
mountains. Uh,
Right.
but when you come to Istanbul, uh, when I was there, 2000, there were foreigners and there was some diversity, but it wasn't as much. But today, if you go to Istanbul, it's just same as New York. It's so diverse, people from all over the world, and there was a lot of migration because of the war or in Ukraine, war in Syria. So, and Turkey being in between, people from these countries also came to Turkey, in Iran as well, because of what's going on in their country. Because they are looking for a safe place to protect their families and have a life. So Istanbul has been an extremely diverse place. Has become. It wasn't that much, but today it is.
So let's talk a little bit about your work because right now, with the way the world is a little bit unique, right? And all that we're kind of dealing with. And um, you're bringing in students from all over, right? How many different countries do they come from?
Right now, we have students from 53 countries.
Are you looking for a way to connect with a global audience? Join us on October 23rd for the Today's the Day Changemakers International Forum. Register for free at todayisthedayliveit.com. That's todayisthedayliveit.com. This one-day virtual forum brings together leaders, authors, CEOs, and entrepreneurs from around the world to provide powerful insights across 6 transformational panel discussions: rising through uncertainty, the burnout breakthrough, louder than the scroll, when fundraising follows purpose, becoming who you haven't met yet, and entrepreneurship as a global connector. And also, sponsorship opportunities are available and customized to align with your organization's goals and ensure meaningful visibility. Options may include commercial spots during the forum, spotlight features on the Today's the Day Changemakers podcast, social media mentions and recognition, potential interview opportunities, and creative recognition that maximizes your marketing investment. By joining us as a sponsor, you're not just supporting an event, you're fueling a global movement of connection, collaboration, and authentic impact. Together, we'll strengthen one another, build powerful connections, and walk away with actionable steps that create immediate positive change, both personally and professionally. So don't wait. Secure your spot today at todayisthedayliveit.com. You kind of explained to me how it works in a shortened version, obviously, of how it works to bring students in and also, how to make sure that they have everything they need in order to be here safely and be here legally. So can you explain to the audience here exactly what that's like?
Yeah, the United States is still number one, the most popular place in the world for student mobility. Um, Overseas, United States, regardless of what the situation would be, the times would be, is still the number one place people desire to come to study. The higher education in the United States is the best in the world right now. The second thing is the capacity. The United States has the highest capacity, the number of seats, meaning for international students or for any higher ed age population. As such, we have great advantage. That's one thing. Uh, so, and we have a mission. We are a public university. We're accessible, and we care about definitely, educating everybody and make sure they become great citizens and contribute to the economy, contribute to the community. Part of that is that we have international office at Rowan University. So sometimes we go overseas, sometimes from the office, like this Zoom meetings we have. We meet with partner universities, government entities, um, other organizations that could promote the university, and also programs. We have academic programs. We offer English language program, undergraduate, master's, PhD programs. We have two medical schools, veterinary school. So we promote these programs, and interested students, we have a structure for them, meaning from the day they want to apply until they graduate, even after they graduate, during the job hunting and also getting the job, etc., we still stay connected a year to 2 years after they graduate. So we have a whole process, again, from beginning to end. So we do marketing, we recruit these students. Once they apply, we stay connected with them until they show up on campus, helping them with their visa process, make sure they come here properly. They submit everything federal government asks them to submit, because our students are all 100% compliant with the federal regulations, the students we have here. We have about right now close to 1,500 international students from those 53 countries. And we make sure every single one of them are safe in terms of their compliance. And also when they come here, their expectations are met. Because remember what I talked about when I came here to the United States 22 years ago, I was one of them. I was in a culture shock. It was not easy. Loneliness, you're on your own, everything is different. Once the couple of weeks of honeymoon period pass, that's it. After that, students feel like, what did I do? Am I in the right place? Should I go back? Maybe it was a mistake. They question all these things in their mind. Sometimes, very rarely we lose students because we catch them at the right time, and, we talk to them. We tell them that, everybody's going through the same thing. You're not the only one. Because sometimes students think that I'm the weak person here and then everybody else is doing great. No, everybody is going through the same thing. These are all human and they have the same thing. And actually, during our orientation, we go through this culture shock and how it's going to hurt them for 6 months, average of 6 months. So, we make sure their culture shock is not going to be a negative impact on their classes, academic performance, especially in their first semester. You're in a different country, you're trying to do well in your classes. If you're undergraduate, you're taking 5 courses and you're busy with them. At the same time, you can't concentrate maybe. So we have a team here, a great team supporting our international students. We're available every day for them. And then when they come here, actually, we do an extended orientation program for them. Like if they're going to live on campus, we already have a welcome package for them with anything you imagine, from pillow to blanket, whatever they would need. Because when I came to the States first time, the first night I arrived like 11:30 p.m. and they took me to the dorm. There was nothing in the dorm, so I just went in. There was no bed, nothing. It was just a mattress. I just went in bed just like that. No pillow, nothing, no blanket. And I was like, I don't want the same experience for international students, our students. So anyone coming here, they're gonna live in the dorm. We actually get their packages, their welcome pack delivered to their room. So when they go to their room, it's already there. Don't have to carry anything. So that at least they have a nice beginning, an easy beginning. And then during orientation, we give them all critical information, do's and don'ts, not about immigration only, but about cultural pieces as well. Like in the United States, for example, we do not negotiate for grades, right? But some countries, it's a culture. Culture is culture. It is what it is. We're not saying it's good or better. We never say the American culture is better. We just say it's different. It's different. All we're trying to do is here is that you be aware of the difference. That's it. We never say yours is better, ours is worse. No comparison. It's just, and we don't talk about yours because there are 50 different countries in front of us, right, at an orientation program. We talk about the norms in this country so that you're aware of the norms and then you act accordingly so that, you feel like you're part of the community. As simple as a, space we leave in between two people for privacy, right? In overseas, certain countries, if you stay too distant from each other, then they feel like, oh, you're not very friendly because you don't want to get close to us, right? But in the United States, if you get too close, we're like, oh, you're in my personal space. That's not good, right? Because our norms are
Right.
different from their norms. So you could be misunderstood. So we explain these norms, not only that for them to adjust to what we do, but also for them to interpret what we do, why we do what we do. If I leave space, not that I don't like you, it's just that that's the norm here, because sometimes international students misunderstand that. It's not that fact. Or like here in the United States, when we talk to people, we don't ask them about their, for example, a political view or religion or their health situation, right? Because it's their personal matters. But overseas, people ask, especially like a health, how they're doing. They ask even very, detailed questions to show how much they care. But that's the norm there. So anyway, we talk about all those things, make sure the students, are aware of the differences so that they better understand, they don't get offended unintentionally. So we do this orientation program, and of course, we stay connected again until after they graduate.
It sounds amazing. And 53 countries, it's totally incredible. But with all that's been going on, how has things changed, or have they changed? I should even ask that question since, we're dealing with a little bit more on the people that come here and the people that get to stay here.
Right. You mean the change in their lives?
Well, I'm talking about, how has it changed now trying to get, has it changed, students from overseas to come here because a lot of things have been changing when it comes to immigration.
Oh, I
And
see.
yes, and so, I'm just trying to see like what has changed. Those who are listening, I have 110 countries listening to this. So, there's somebody who may be listening that may be thinking, has a child that's thinking coming to the United States to go, get their education, but they're hearing things in their own country. Like you say, they're hearing things different than we are hearing things here. And so I want to take away, any kind of fear if there's a way to do that. And,
Sure.
coming here for education is still very important.
Sure. Now, what they might be seeing on media or social media is definitely different from what they will see on the floor. Like, for example, on an average American campus like Rowan University. And I understand the fear because you're sending your 17-year-old to another country, 5,000 miles away, and you have concerns because you see things on social media, you think everywhere is like that. And that represents the whole country. That's the image, they created, unfortunately, sometimes or interpretation. And it's not what it is. It's always how it's perceived. The reality could be different, but people perceive it differently based on what they see on social media. So we understand that fear. So there's definitely some fear and stress, not only among students, but also the parents as well, as they're sending their students. But in reality, nothing has changed on campuses, university campuses. We act the way we've been acting, but probably what has changed from our side is we've been providing more information and more support to make sure things are clear to students and parents, so that make sure they get the right message of what's going to happen, what's not going to happen to their students. And the fact that we do care about them, just like we cared about everybody last year or a year before. So we're committed to this. But of course, what has changed that's outside of our control is, for example, the visa application. Since the pandemic hit, the finding an early visa interview has been a challenge, definitely. I remember in some cases, students found something that's 8, 10 months from today, which was way after semester start, right? And then they're missing their whole semester. Now they have to delay it. And if their program only admits from fall to fall, now they're losing a whole year in that situation, if you think about it. Now it got a little bit better as the Department of State allows international students to apply for emergency visa appointment request. So that to expedite the process a little bit. But the visa rejection rates, depending on the country, also is a bit higher. So that students going there getting rejected is a possibility. So when you put all these things together, the stress, the fear, or the perception you get from the social media, the delayed visa interviews, and the possibility of getting rejected, and the political situation, the comments made, you're questioning, why should I do this? Why am I not going to Canada or UK or Australia? But every country has something similar that's going on. Like if you think about Australia, they increased their visa fees. I think it's as high as like close to $2,000 visa fee. That's a deterrent. That's a huge amount of money for a student from a certain countries. It's probably their parents' 5 months, 6 months salary right there, just for the visa process, right? Uh, and if you think about the UK, they're already saturated. They have super high international student number for the size of colleges they have, the capacity they have in their higher education. So they can't absorb any further. So the United States still is, again, the top choice for a lot of international students. But today, the political situation, the challenges make it difficult, or people delay their decisions, that they hesitate, parents are worried. And I know some students change their mind and they choose to go different countries, or they stay in their countries and study there.
When a recent situation had happened here in the United States, did you see any fear come up upon the students at your location in any way? Did anybody come to your offices or anything like that? As we know that there was a student that was, um, taken that because she was from another country, and did that have any ripple effect over by where you are?
Right. We had, if you think about this, I always think about this way. If you want to feel how they feel, imagine you're in a very different country where you speak the language very little. Let's say I don't speak Chinese, right? If I go to China, something like this happen, and I'm not from China, I don't have many rights as citizens do, right? And then there are things happening. I don't even know how to explain my situation. The fear I will have would be a lot. Seeing the police in front of me, like, it's not like seeing the police in your own country where you have a system to it, the system to it, and you have your relatives, your connections, they could probably come help you, etc. So what happened, even though it didn't happen on our campus, students watch the news, they look at the social media, they look at the comments, and social media also has a lot of fake news as well. So one situation actually becomes much more horrific than what it may be. It was already bad, but I'm saying is like in social media probably is more they become more fearful. So we had that restlessness on our campus as well. What we did was, as a university, we reached out to our students. We did town hall meetings regularly. I think we did like 3, 4 of them back to back. Just have a very genuine conversation with them. What may happen? What will not happen? Because there are a lot of things in their mind that's not going to happen. But again, perception. They think about the worst. And I was like, you're a student. If you do your classes, if you come to classes, if you didn't do anything wrong, what's going to happen to you? Nothing. And then we tell them do's and don'ts. We tell them like what they see on TV, why it happened, the details of those, and potential travel bans. That time we warned the students as well. There was no travel ban at that time, but we told them that there could be another travel ban, and this could be the countries, possibly based on the previous time. I think like 5 years ago, the travel ban we had that time. And we had some students cried because they wanted to go see their parents. And you can go. We're not going to stop you, but we're telling you that by the time you need to come back, which is like late August, there might be a travel ban in place. You may lose your opportunity to come continue your studies. And that's exactly what happened. The good thing, the student did not leave who cried, but it's a tough situation. You want to see your parents, but you have this fear. And then our job is to be honest with you and genuine. I don't know everything, but I'll just tell you what I know, like I would tell to my own kid, right? I want the best for her, for my kids. I have 2 girls, 2 daughters. I want the best for my students as well. They're at my daughter's age. So for that reason, I want to give them the best information I have so they make their own decision. But I want to guide them because in one way, of course, we're professional, but we're kind of their parents over far from their home to protect them, to guide them because they don't have anybody else. Believe me, for some of these 1,500 students we have here, we are the only people they know. They don't have anybody else. They have nobody else to go to. So in that situation, we cannot turn our back to them. And we did not. As a university, actually, not only our office, the whole university was at those meetings and to answer questions related to their areas. We provided summer housing if they couldn't return to their country and they need a place to stay, all those things. And then most important again is information and guidance. They wanted to hear, even if you don't know anything, they wanted to hear that, oh, we don't know about that yet. People, because not being able to talk to anybody, not hearing anything from your own university and leave it to yourself, you think too much about it, you create a lot of stories in your mind. That's the stress that they can't handle too long, right? So we alleviated all those through, constant communication with our students.
It sounds like you have such an incredible program, and I can hear it, just you definitely sound like the father figure for all of those students without a doubt, and I think that's such a beautiful thing. The book is coming. The book is coming. Today is the Day, Live It will be published in late January 2026. Go to todayisthedayliveit.com to sign up and be the first to know when pre-orders are available. Live It is the Today's the Day Changemaker story. A story that began with one bold decision I made to spark a movement and create a platform for authentic connection and community. It showcases how a single choice can shift the trajectory of one life and ripple outward to transform the lives of many. Within these pages, you'll hear from 30 changemakers across the globe, from California to Uganda, sharing their voices, their defining shifts, and the impact they've made by choosing courage over fear, even when it seemed impossible. This isn't just a book. It's an invitation for you to believe in the power of one voice, your own. Stay tuned for the official author reveal coming soon, and don't forget to sign up at todayisthedayliveit.com so you don't miss your chance to pre-order. Because today is the day. Live It is more than a book. It's a movement. What do you feel like makes, besides all that you give, what do you think makes Rowan so special as a community?
I've been at Rowan for 8 years now. I love the institution. When I think about like what makes Rowan special, on a normal day, average, Rowan has definitely like, the marketing piece. We have great location, really. We're in the middle of 3 major cities. We have great tuition rates because price always a matter for students. And we're a research university, we're comprehensive, we offer everything. So we have great programs. Those are the 3 things students look for, international students look for: location, cost, and the programs you have. But beyond those, what became very important during these difficult times was support. Not support from our office only, because our office mission is to support them, but is the whole campus going to be behind us? And they were. Like, we saw our true colors during these difficult times, where not only my office, from the president's office, the provost office, the deans, to department heads, the general counsel, you name it, the housing, residential life, dean of students, all offices. They have been great support to our international students. They understood, they took their time to come to meetings, listen to our students, gave us guidance, call us all the time that how they can help. So that's why Rowan is special. Not just our office, International Center, but the whole university understood that this is a difficult time. We got to show that we are together in this, not students not alone. They're not on their own. As an institution, we are together. We're going to do our best to protect them, guide them in the best way we can, make sure they continue their education. So I think that's why the Rowan is special. The support that we have, like genuine care and support we have for students.
For people who are listening, find out more before I ask you any more questions, I want to stop there and just get your website and where people can find out more information.
Sure. Rowan's web address is pretty easy: www.rowan.edu. Or if they just put Rowan University on Google search, that's the first thing they will see anyways. Or if they want to look at our international office programs, they can just Google us by Rowan University International Center. They will see the programs, type of programs, because we have the F1 visa program. Also, we have J1 exchange program. We bring exchange short-term visitor students and scholars. Not only students, but we also bring foreign scholars, from anywhere from 3 weeks to 5 months to come do research, some little teaching, some advising, consultation, other things, they could do. The idea is, again, cultural exchange and academic exchange. So we do all those programs. So they can find all those on our website as well. And again, anyone wants to apply to Rowan, if they just, again, go to our website, I think application is one of the top links they will see in there if they're interested.
Do you have a growth plan, like in the next 3 to 5 years? What are there new things, anything that coming up for Rowan down the road for your program?
Rowan is one of the fastest growing universities. I think every year we are either the 3rd or 4th fastest research university, growing university in the United States. When I came, we didn't have a vet school. We didn't have many other PhD programs. Right now, we have many more programs, just last 8 years. Uh, we only had 130 international students. Right now, we have 1,500. We had 16, 17,000 altogether students. We have now 24,000 students. So we are in a constant growth, which is a great place to be because change is always good. That means opportunities for everybody, for students, for the institution, for the community. So I know as an institution, we continue to be growing, but we won't definitely be an R1 institution, research level one institution. And I think we are close to be doing that as we have a lot of research going, and then we have two medical schools, veterinary schools. So I know that that's one of the goals for the institution to be an R1 institution, which is not a difficult task. We are right now R2. For international, we definitely would like to see more international students, maybe at least 15% of our university population. That's typically an average for research universities to have 15% international students. So we have a lot of opportunities for growth in the international area as well. But our next 1 to 3 years, one of the goals also is to expand our partnerships all over the world. We're putting a lot of effort into it, building more university partnerships in many countries. Right now, we have about 40, 45 partnerships agreements, either with universities or government entities, for either student mobility, research, or a combination or different things.
Yes, and so I know a lot of people who went to Rowan and have incredible stories. And I, through the nonprofit that I run, we have a program with Rowan as well. So I know the community music school. So I know, somewhat firsthand, even though I didn't personally go there, from experiences from others, how wonderful the school is and how accepting, everybody feels when they walk on campus. It is a beautiful campus. So tell me now, like, who was your mentor? Was there someone in when you grew up that was your mentor? Someone when you came here? Did you have many mentors?
Maybe I could say many mentors. You always have somebody in the family for sure, right? Somebody that you look up to and then you learn a
Mhm.
lot. That was my grandma, I think I can say, who passed away about
Mhm.
10 years ago. She taught me a lot in terms of values, being committed. Like if you work at the place, you got to be committed to it because they depend on you, they trust you. So that if Rowan puts me in this seat, I know that they trust that I will do my best for this institution. I always remember that I work for Rowan, I do everything for Rowan. That's important because that adds to your motivation, that adds to how you do things, how much you do things. How efficient you are, how productive you are, how creative you are. It all comes from the fact that you know your responsibility. So I know that learning that once you're given a responsibility, you have to hold on to your end of the deal. I learned it from my grandma. But professionally in college, as one professor that made me love languages is my linguistics professor in Turkey in my college. I always looked up to her. I admired her, her passion for the language, her passion for teaching. That really inspired me. And I loved what I did. I think she's part of that. I'm still in contact with her even today. And more in professional life here at Rowan and also my previous place, Auburn, Montgomery, the senior administration, certain people, I always listen to them, their guidance, because they're experienced, they're seasoned people. They know before you even think about this. So I always listen to them. So, there are a lot of people here who like giving. They love to guide you, share, because they want you to, they want you to grow in what you do. So I have multiple people at Rowan and also at my previous place that really helped me grow. So I'm very thankful to everybody.
What about a book? Is there a book that kind of really stuck with you as you went through your career?
Not about my career directly, not international education, because international education, I read a lot of reports, more boring stuff, stats, research, other things. That's what I do, that will help me guide my work, day-to-day work. But one of the books I really loved was, I think this was an Israeli author, Harari. I can't remember his first name, but Harari's book, Sapiens, is really a very interesting book. Sapiens, it's talking about the human history, how we became what we are, the communities, countries, and human life, what matters in life. because like you need your central point, everything you do, what you do, how much you value what you do, what's priority in your life, your family, your work, yourself, your pet, what like, I think reading that book gave me a lot of insights about what human is and what we were, what we are, similarities between me and someone who lived 5,000 years ago, right? We are
Mhm.
still human, we still have similar mindsets, but we do things differently with the resources we have. But that book was really eye-opening. So I recommend everybody to read Harari's books. He has a few other books about human history. Great writer, definitely. So I recommend that one. Yeah.
So before we go, I was wondering if there's a story that kind of sits with you with the work you do now with the international students. Not to give away a name or anything like that, but if there's just a story that it was just a great success story for you in having one of the students come over from somewhere.
Yeah. I have many. I can give a couple of maybe short ones. I had students, for example, in the language program, I remember one who came with no English, zero, nada, just hello, yes, no, right? That's it. The kid was such a hard worker. In English, we call them, level 1 through 5. 5 would be the highest that you're ready for college. One is like entry level. You only could say hello, thank you, basic stuff. So this student was in level 1. He studied so hard in my program, like day and night. And 6 months, he became level 5 and he moved to the academic side. He graduated. He got a job in the US. He's now works in California. We're still in touch through LinkedIn with him, like seeing that growth from nothing to a lot, right in front of my eyes. Also, again, I won't give names for their safety, definitely, but I had students, many here at Rowan and Auburn as well, from countries where um, education rights for women are not there. I won't name the countries, but at Rowan as well, we had the situation. They come in front of me. They have a lot of challenges. The university in their country doesn't want to give them their transcript because they're female, they're in the United States, not the right place, and education is not for you anyways, as because you're female, right? That's kind of the how they're treated. So like I did work for them to find an alternative so they don't have to do that. Even one of them was asked to come physically to the university to come pick up the transcript, like from Rowan. They're gonna go back to their country just to pick up a piece of paper. And we knew the intention though. Once you get in the country, you're not going out again. You're stuck, right? They're trying to bring you back and then probably punish you for what you did, which is higher education. That's your crime you committed. So for this type of, I have uh, I have great passion to help uh, female students from these countries where their lives or their value, their intelligence, their capacity, everything they could do is ignored completely. Because I always
Mhm.
believe that someone in an X country that you as a country, you as a government of that country do not think they worth anything. They could be the next person finding a cure to a major disease. They may have the capacity to do so, but you just completely dismiss them, take them out of the system, and push them into their homes because all their job should be just, having kids and, taking care of the home. That's it. So I have great passion for that kind of students. So I've helped many of them either to find financial resources or take care of their academic needs so they could be successful here. Because I know that those are the hard workers that they appreciate what they have here. Bless you.
Thank you.
Now, I've seen many of them graduate as well and then become successful because they have the motivation, they have the capacity. They're smart people. They're smarter than me. They do great things, but only if you can give them the opportunity, just fair opportunity, nothing more, just fair opportunity, nothing more.
Right.
So I have great passion for that as well. And I've seen a lot of them. So I love my job, just seeing people here that I can help with and I do, and then they move on to next thing. And again, my help is just little help. They accomplish everything on their own. It's not, I get no credit for what they do. They do what they do because of who they are and what their capacity is. So I'm very proud of them.
No, you give them the opportunity. They might have it, but without the opportunity, then it just stays within them. So it's beautiful. And for those who may just be listening and streaming, I have to tell you, if you can watch this via the YouTube channel, you could see Gokhan get very excited about his work, and you can feel the passion through the Zoom screen. That is for sure. So I think that is so amazing and so beautiful. And there's a couple of connections through Today's the Day that I'd love to connect you with. That one is Ready to Empower, and she is doing a lot for women and girls in other countries to help them with mental health and education. And so that's what I love about this Changemaker network, because there's so much opportunity to help each other. And that all of that is just so incredible, and I love your passion for all that you do. Is there something I'm missing that you want to share here that I didn't ask you a question about? I always like to leave that at the end.
No, all I'll say is, it's going to be cliche, but life is really short, and our task should be live it in the most meaningful way it could be, by not only thinking about ourselves, but contributing to our community, our family, our friends, where we work, people that we don't know, uh, in a selfless manner, and then see the growth. Because, you know, nothing is better than seeing happiness around you. That's the life you want to have. So there's a lot of misery out there, enough misery. So I think we just want to do anything we can to lessen it as little as we can, but still we contribute to our where we live. So I think we owe that to the world where we live.
It's funny you said the live it piece, because it's just amazing, because that is my website is today is the day liveit.com. It's an action, because we are given a very finite amount of time, and we never know how short or how long that time is, right? We don't have
Right.
control over that. Somewhat we do, eat healthy, exercise, all those things, but there are other factors that play into it. And so it is very important not only to just, live and be happy in the best way possible, but connection
Right.
is just helps us to thrive. And I'm grateful to Heather Mistretta for connecting us and being able to now have you as part of our Changemaker family. Gokhan, thank you so much. Anything else that you want to
No,
share?
thank you so much for having me here and sharing my story and what we do here. I truly appreciate it. Please, anyone listening to us, do not hesitate to reach out to us if there's anything we can do to help you.
Awesome. Gokhan, thanks again for your time, your passion, your commitment, and for helping so many, wonderful budding students, create the life that they really are meant to have. And it's a lot because of what you're doing over there at Rowan. So thank you so much to you and to Rowan. And I'm going to say what I say at the end of every single podcast. Today is the day you cannot go back to yesterday, and you do not yet own tomorrow. So what small or large steps are you going to take today to get yourself closer to your goals? Thank you again, and have a great week, everyone. Bye, Gokhan.
Bye. Have a lovely day.